Welcome to Created to Write, the podcast where we turn blank pages into finished work. Whether you're just starting out or ready to take your writing to the next level, you'll find encouragement, honest conversations, and practical strategies to help you grow in confidence, creativity, and craft. Grab your notebook and pen, open your laptop. Let's create words that impact the world together. And welcome to the show, Carol-Ann.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
That is so fine, so fine. So tell us where you're based and just give us a little bit of a intro to yourself.
I am based in Northwest Tassie, in a beautiful area, and I have been living here. Well, not here specifically, but living in the Northwest Tassie for over 18 years. I moved here in 2008, and yeah, I've lived in different parts of the Northwest, and I just think it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever lived. To me, I grew up in Vancouver, as well as Chicago, and I would say that Northwest Tassie in particular is very much like Vancouver. I mean, the whole parts of the whole island is pretty much like Vancouver, but especially here in the Northwest. And yeah, I just fell in love with it when I first came here in 2008.
Ah, that's good to know. I've always wanted to go to Canada and I've never got there yet. So it's on the
Yeah,
it's on the list.
it's really beautiful.
Yeah, and tell us about your writing. What's the most amazing part of your writing where you felt highly favored so far?
Oh gosh, when I got published in Tracy Miles' book, it's a a Christian divorce and separation workbook. I didn't even know that there was such a thing, but I was chosen was one out of 20 authors that was chosen out of like I don't know how many applicants, but there was a lot of applicants, and this was through Compel. This is through Tracy Miles. She's with Proverbs 31 Ministries, and she's been a Christian author for a long time. And there happened to be this challenge that came about, and I was like, "Yeah, I could do this challenge." So it was a short story. So yeah, and it was about divorce and separation. And because I had been married twice, and my first husband divorced from, my second one separated from before he passed away. I was able to write about it. And I can't even begin to tell you when she wrote back and she said, "You were one of the authors that was picked." I mean, it's just, yeah, it was just so awesome.
Yeah, wow. That moment, hey? Absolutely.
Yeah, I've never been published before. So it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool. And when you're writing, who's the reader that you picture?
Well, for me, because of my experience of past abuse, my heart is especially for Christian women and their children who have been abused by their husbands or partners, particularly in the Christian setting. My heart is for them. I want my hope is with my writing that they can not make some of the same mistakes that I did, to learn from my mistakes. And I love answering women's questions when they ask about stuff like that. But it's also to give them hope. Like I have found a lot of hope on the other side of abuse, and that's something that I want to share with women. That I'm saying that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is, not to give up and to keep fighting. But my hope is again that with the writing, what I do is that it helps them to do it as in a much a better way than how I handled. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sharing your pain and hurts for so other people can gain wisdom from it. So valuable and so needed. So, it's beautiful that you are putting that into books and into short stories for people to read and learn from. And tell me about your writing process. What does that look like?
Well, because I'm also a speaker too. I'm a domestic violence advocate. So what I do is I try to get my head around, okay, what's this, what am I being asked to write, or what have I been tapped to write? And so I think about it, I pray about it. And then what I need to do, because I have autism and ADHD, I need to have good long chunks of time where I can just sit down and just start writing. So I'll start doing maybe a rough copy, and then it might take several rough copies, especially when I'm doing speeches, because they have to be a certain word count and it has to be on a specific topic. And I've actually found those to be harder to get my head around than doing what I did for Tracy Miles, or even for the other book project that I did. I don't know why that is, but yeah, but once I get going, then because the way that I'm envisioning it in my head is that I'm saying to them what I wish somebody would have said to me.
Yeah, that's understandable. And how has faith shaped what you do?
Well, for me, faith is very important. For me, I have been part of a group, as you know, called Celebrate Recovery. That is discipleship, healing, recovery ministry, where our only higher power is Jesus Christ. And I found this not only after my abusive husband died, but 6 months later, my mom died suddenly. So after very complicated grief and I mean, other things that happens when you're post abuse that you tend to lose a lot of friends and you lose family members, etc. I had basically lost all hope by that point, and just being in Celebrate Recovery, being able to talk about Christ has really helped me in my healing journey, and that's helped with the writing because it's helped me remember hope and been able to walk with other women who have been through similar challenges, but also different challenges. And the thing is, it's confidential and it's safe. And it's really helped me to grow in my faith from being a believer in Christ to a follower, a disciple of Christ. And my faith is quite important because I always want to point them to Christ, regardless of even in my speeches, even though I don't really mention Christ, you'll see me wear my cross, if nothing else. And I do try to point them in one way or the other. And that's the thing I love about Celebrate Recovery because you're not your struggles. You know, I'm not my past abuse. I'm not my past struggles. I'm not my codependency. I'm not any of that. You know, I am a child of God. I am his daughter. And I could have not written this without him. I could have not been published. I know they're only short stories and I know it's speeches, but I could have never even done that without him. So yeah, faith definitely informs my writing and whether even if I write fiction somewhere down the line, because I have been thinking about it, faith will also inform that as well.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And you mentioned about how exciting it was to be told that you're one of the chosen writers for the book with Tracy. So tell us about the
Mhm.
highlight. Was that your highlight? Do you have another highlight since you've been writing?
Well, getting tapped again a second time, yeah, by another wonderful author, Belinda Pollard.
That's
That was
awesome.
really exciting. Being tapped and I mean, just confirmation again that this is something, that I'm a writer. This is, something that the Lord has, created me to do. And yeah, so,
And that's another anthology,
um,
sort of short stories.
yeah, well, also doing the speeches as well. I mean, just getting tapped for that,
Mm.
and being asked would I be willing to do that. It is a highlight because I feel it's a chance to share, as I said, to be that woman who can speak into somebody else's life the way I wish someone would have spoken into mine.
Mhm.
But not just stopping there, but also giving them hope. And I do tell them quite a bit about, I do tell them about Celebrate Recovery because I mean, yes, there's been counseling and there's been grief groups, there's been, prayer ministries, that sort of stuff, and they've been wonderful, but nothing has helped me as much as Celebrate Recovery. So, I always want to show that hope, even if I'm just talking, sharing about the pain, past
Mhm.
abuse and all that.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, I love that. Now, there's a lot of people who are just starting out writing or they've written something and they're not sure what to do. What's some advice that you would like to pass?
For me, it was just, I was looking for an opportunity to write. I happened to be part of Compel that, as I said, that time. And the opportunity just came. And even though I didn't know if I get picked or not, I, excuse me, I just dove in and I did it. And I feel that way. I would say every time, even doing the other project I mentioned. I mean, because I'm actually part of two DB book projects. So, just different little projects that I'm part of, different organizations and things like that. So every time I get asked, it's like, "Ooh, this is wow, Lord, thank you for this opportunity." And it's like, okay, how am I going to get my head around this? And then I just sit down and do it. and the Lord makes it happen. You know what I'm saying? I never know. I mean, because it's never the same story twice. I don't tell it the same way every time, so I never know. And I'm learning that the Lord's bringing out different things as I write, and I just love that. I just love this. I love what He brings out in my writing, and yeah.
Beautiful. So that is just sit down and do it and lean into the Lord. Great
Yeah.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you're still watching the show, please drop a like, subscribe, go find Carol-Ann and follow her as well. Do you have some links that I can pop down in the show notes?
Yes, I do have, Facebook, Instagram. Yep, I'd be happy to give you those.
Perfect. Alrighty. Thank you for joining me on today's show, and we look forward to seeing you all again on the next episode of Created to Write. Thanks for hanging around till the end. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to leave a review and share the podcast with a friend. And while you're at it, jump into your favorite bookseller site and leave a review of a book you've loved reading. Until next time, keep reading, keep writing, and always remember you were created to create, and perhaps you were created to write.